Hi, I'm Becky. My channel's What Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today's vlog is about a collaboration that I have been doing with the lovely Ruan, who is the Yorkshire Sew Girl here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Now, Ruan and I have some very similar tastes when it comes to fabric. We both love a little bit of animal print. We both love pink and red together. We both love bright, vibrant colours. We have often been told, my partner has said to me on a number of occasions, that we have similarities in the way that we look as well, which always makes me chuckle. And when I am in the winter, we are also fringe twinning, but at the moment we are in the summer, so that's brushed to one side. So what were we collaborating on? We were collaborating on this gorgeous viscose chalet fabric here that we got from Rainbow Fabrics. Now, Ruan is an ambassador for them, I think, and she got some of this as part of her partnership with them, and she shared it, and I'd also purchased this fabric at the moment I saw it, and I said to her, I've purchased that. So she reached out and said, let's collaborate. Now, if you look in mine and Ruan's stash, you'll probably find that we have a lot of similar fabrics in there. We have very, very similar tastes in our colour choices, in our print choices. I'd actually be interested to rummage through her stash and see how much is similar. Now, we were hoping to get this collaboration out to you a little bit earlier, and I have to hold my hands up and say it's my fault. We've been quite busy here at home, so I've not had a chance to get it sewn up as quickly as I'd hoped. I'd had a small delay on the print that I'd ordered from AO of this particular pattern, so that just pushed everything back a bit longer than I wanted it to. But we did put out a vlog at the beginning of June, just before I went on holiday, where I shared with you 3 different options. Ruan did exactly the same, and I will try and link those vlogs down below, so if you haven't seen them, you can go back and watch them. And the 3 options that I chose are the Zadie dress by Paper Theory, the Saltwater slip dress by Friday Pattern Company, and then the Lockhart, which is either a dress or a jumpsuit. And at the time I had said that I want to make both, and I wasn't sure which one I would do in this fabric. So the one that I actually went for was the Lockhart dress, and I went for the knee length version of the dress. Now, I have to say, I am so pleased with my choice. This was the choice that the majority of you had voted for. So the Zadie came in a very close second, and don't worry guys, the Zadie is on my list. I have a beautiful piece of red fabric, and I will be getting around to it soon. I have a wedding that I'm going to, and I'm planning to make that for that, so just watch this space. So the Lockhart dress and jumpsuit, let's have a quick conversation about this particular pattern. So the pattern here, as you will see, you've got 2 variations, and each of them come with different lengths. So you can have a full length dress, which makes it kind of like the ball gown, your full length jumpsuit, or you can have a midi or crop leg, or you can have a knee length, or you can have a short or short pant, so to speak. So there is quite a bit of variation just from the pattern itself. But the thing that I really loved about this, as I started sewing this up, was that you got other variations inside it. Not massive differences, but just small little tweaks. So with the straps, you get the option as part of the pattern to have either a wide strap or a small little thin Rolo loop type strap. Now, obviously, I'm quite big busted, or chesticles, as Cara from So So Mad would say. I have a larger chest, and a wide strap does me the world of good because of the bras that I have to wear. So I went for the wide strap. But in the instructions, as you start to look through, she gives you the option on how to make tie versions of your straps. She also gives you the option of how to make sliders for your straps. So how cool is that? You get that in there as well. Now, the particular pattern's got a lined bodice. It is fitted, so it does have an invisible zip at the back, which was a little bit like my nemesis because I don't like invisible zips, and if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that. And yeah, like I said, you've got the variations in length. So I think that's it in a nutshell. The sizes for this pattern come in a size 0, and it does go right up to a size 34. So it has a B cup range in sizes 0 to 22 and D cup range in size 12 to 34. Now, when I originally went through this and looked at the garment measurements versus the finished garment measurements, it put me in a D cup range size 14 across the top, across my high bust, and then a 14 for my full bust. It put me in a 16 for my waist and a 18 for my hip, because I have a 42 bust, I have a 38 high bust, a 42 bust, and I have a 46 hip, and I think I have a 34 waist. Can't remember, that fluctuates. So when I then looked at the finished garment measurements, there is a little bit of ease in that. So I decided that I could actually make a size 14 across the top, which would be a 42 bust. I could make and that would cover the waist as well. And then I could go down to a size 16 rather than 18 based on the finished garment measurements. So they were the sizes that I went for. But when I had my AO delivered, just to make things a little bit more complicated, it'd taken quite a while for my print to be delivered already, and I realised that it must have been my error. I'd sent off 2 B cup printings, and I didn't want to wait another week. I knew I would struggle to get this sewn up, and we would ended up with a further delay on getting it done. So I decided to go back to the pattern measurements and look at what the B cup put me in, and just to see if I could make it work. Now, I'm actually pleased that I went for the B cup, because I did have some fit, not issues, but just a slight adjustment that I needed to make across the top. So the B cup made 14 again, because it did put me in a 40 bust, but I thought that would be fine. The waist was the same, because obviously I'm grading out into a 16 and then grading out into a 16 on the hip as well. So this is my make, and just look at it. Isn't this amazing? Now, one thing I will tell you is Helen's closet patterns, they really do hold your hand throughout the entire process. The instructions are fantastic, and I've always found that in all of them. The notches are all in the right places. They are just really good. Now, I went for the dress and I went for the knee length version. Now, I am a little bit shorter than this is drafted for, so I knew that this is more likely to become a midi version. And then I've also got pockets here as well, because everybody needs a pocket. And it gives you checkpoints for your fitting as well in the instructions, which was perfect. Now, it was perfect, I say this, but I was at home on my own, so I couldn't pin myself in to actually check. But that first checkpoint, I would recommend for anybody to have somebody with you to check that fit, because I ended up waiting until the zip went in, and the adjustment that I needed to make just to get that fit just right should have been done somewhere else, but couldn't have been done there without me completely deconstructing the straps, because there is a seam line down the front and I just needed to pull it in just a tiny bit to make it fit. Where I ended up doing it was in this side seam instead, and to be fair, it's done the same job, but I couldn't do that until I had the zip in play. Now, I must admit, my stitch in the ditch is not that brilliant, so you do stitch in your lining in the ditch. It does give you the option in the instructions to do it as a hand sewing, but I went for the stitch in the ditch because I don't like hand sewing, to be perfectly honest with you. And if you really look up close, because it's a light pink that I used, you can see some of the areas where I went over. But you would have to be looking at me in a way that I would probably be telling you to move away to see it, because of the way that my chesticles would sit. You'd really have to be sort of sitting underneath them, so to speak, to see that one. Now, my invisible zip is not invisible. I am happy. It's the best invisible zip I've done so far, but it's not completely invisible. But it's a milestone for me that I think has come along. So we'll keep practicing, because I know that practice makes perfect on this one. But overall, I would say this is a fantastic pattern. Let me pop some footage and some pictures in so you guys can see it and really see what it looks like on me, and I'll bring you back in a minute.
You enjoyed that. Now I am so pleased with this make. I would make this again in a heartbeat. I would definitely say that this pattern is aimed more at advanced beginners. A beginner definitely could do it, but there are some tricky pieces with the lining, with the fitting and with the zip, but it is a really good pattern. Like I said, her instructions are second to none. It tells you what to do, it tells you to clean finish, it tells you to hand sew where you want to as alternatives. It really does take you all the way through, so the instructions are fantastic. And if I hadn't have been doing the filming that I was doing, because I have filmed a sew along to this, I don't know whether that sew along will get released because yeah, I don't know how good the quality is, but I'm not going to delete the footage. I will go back when I've got time and have a look through, and if I can, I will put the sew along out there. But because I was filming alongside it, it took me a little bit longer to make. I think this is still an in-depth and an involved make, but it's not a really, really long make. And I do just love the way it looks on. I feel amazing in it. I feel like it's perfect. So if you haven't already, go over and check out the lovely Ruan. I cannot wait to see what she's made up and see her in it. I think she's going to look spectacular in this fabric. Let me know your thoughts of my particular make. Let me know if you've got this fabric, and if you have, what you've made up with it, or if you've made the Lockhart pattern and what you think of that. I'd be really keen to hear from you because I do like to chat with you down below. So everything you will need will be in the description box, and if you don't already, please don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you don't subscribe to me already. So take care guys, happy sewing, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.